to me, the selection makes sense. I understand why Jaylen Brown has been out of shape, and I think that drama is going to be interesting later on. But I got no problem with Derek White being on the team.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today for this Wind Up Wednesday edition of the OCP, Captain for Life, Will Cotton. Will, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, the midst of summer, man. Dog day afternoon. Loving it right now.
Okay. Our favorite administrator has joined us today, Robert Abney. Robert, what's going on?
Living the dream here in the heat in Central Texas. The ball never stops bouncing.
And team leader and Team USA expert, Mike King. Mike, how are you? And are we ready to talk USA?
I missed a couple of podcasts. I got to start a new streak. No one got me the ball with 30 seconds to go in a blowout.
All right. In segment one, we will talk Team USA talk and the NBA getting the bag. And I can't wait to hear from Will with that. Segment two, hometown discounts and Summer League recaps. And in segment three, WNBA news and notes. But first, Team USA, fellas. Team USA sent Kawhi Leonard home. First thing they did. Second thing they did was they brought in a new player. And some people think they picked the wrong Celtic. So I've got to get your thoughts, starting first with Mike King. Mike, Kawhi went home. We got a new player, and we got KD injured. What are your thoughts heading into the Olympics?
I mean, there has to be concern because, as we can see in the draft the last couple of years, it's not people from the USA that are always going number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're seeing more and more where it's less USA in the top 10 than USA. So everyone else is catching up. The U.S., even when the teams had superstars in their prime, were starting to lose a little bit in the last in the last decade or so. So, yeah, I mean, there's got to be concern. The lineup is a lot, kind of like when we talk about WNBA. There's a lot of people on this team because they were good in 2010. I'd be a little bit concerned.
All right, Will, thoughts on Team USA with all of the changes that are taking place with the Olympics being about 2 weeks away?
Oh, they knew that was happening when they gave him the jersey. They gave him the jersey, and he went to them and said, look, I appreciate you guys giving me this jersey. I love America. But I maybe not even said it. Maybe had the agent say, look, we don't want him playing. We don't want him to get hurt. But they knew that he wasn't playing. I mean, the dude walked in the office to get the jersey. He was limping to get the jersey. And there was never a point where he was not limping, but I give him props for like going through the process, going through the pictures, going through the, because he could have been like, with money and status, he could have been like, man, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm out of here. I'm going home. But he did the thing. He did the show thing, and they said, okay, well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Send you home, And then they brought Derek White. And that doesn't get nobody. They should have brought Cooper Flagg. That would have gotten it very excited. I'd have liked to watch that. That'd have been cool. But they went with Derek White, and it doesn't change much except Derek White has a free vacation in Paris. And he can walk around because nobody know who he is. He could be a regular person.
Robert, you're our favorite administrator. These things have come to your desk. What are your reactions?
Well, now what we have is we've created some drama around the Celtics, right? Because Jaylen Brown is the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He's the NBA Finals MVP, and he doesn't get picked. And Derek White does get picked. And, so now we have some drama around the Celtics, which gives us something to talk about later on when we start doing season picks, right? Does what happened at the Olympics influence the Celtics season? All that being said, it's not an NBA choice. It's USA Basketball's choice. USA Basketball is going to pick whoever they want to pick. And if you think about it, Derek White going to the Olympics, that actually makes sense. He's a way better shooter than Jaylen Brown. You got to have somebody in the Olympics who can knock down shots, because you're going to see funky zone defenses that you don't see during the NBA season, and they're going to play them better than NBA teams do because these international teams are used to playing that way. To me, the selection makes sense. I understand why Jaylen Brown has been out of shape, and I think that drama is going to be interesting later on, but I got no problem with Derek White being on the team.
Yeah, and when we do our Olympic preview next week, we will talk a little bit about the international game compared to the NBA game and keep an eye on Joel Embiid. But with that, Will, every week on the show and in the group chat, the franchise himself reminds us to GTB, get the bag. And on a personal note, I'm going through that conversation with myself right now. But the NBA has agreed to terms on a new 11-year media deal. And the synopsis of this deal, and I want to make sure I get this thing right. With this deal, starting in the 25-26 season, the NBA will have the following schedule after the NFL season concludes. Monday, they're on Peacock. Tuesday, they're on NBC. Wednesday, they're on ESPN. Thursday, they're on Amazon. Friday, they are on ESPN and Amazon. Saturday, they are on ESPN and Amazon. And Sunday, yes, the return of the NBA on NBC for a lot of 90s kids. And they will also be on ESPN. So, Will, start us off. What do you think about the new NBA deal? And hopefully TNT can join too.
I just, it's good to have more games, especially ones that you can see. The biggest thing that I can see is they're moving towards the NFL model, where eventually you're going to have to pay the games. You're going to have to watch to pay. Peacock, I know nobody has that. I mean, they have a couple, but and now
WWE Network.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a slow creep into having to pay for games, man. And I mean, but it's crazy. We all have Amazon Prime. We all got these things.
Thanks to the wife.
They're just
No, we don't. No, we don't.
I was coerced into having Amazon Prime. I heard that was the thing to do, as they say.
Oh,
but it's good, man. It's good because you get new blood out there, especially in the commentators. You get people, they discover the people that they become. Marv Albert wasn't starting. He had a chance, and they became a legend. Same thing with Kenny and Charles and Shaq. They had their time. No one knew it was going to work, but it was amazing. It was a great time. And everyone loves the NBC theme song. So I think that's what they're all like. They're feeling that nostalgic, that it's just that 90s vibe. You just think like Jordan and going at it. It's good, man. I like it. Bring it back. Basketball is in a good spot right now, man. And they're just making money hand over fist. So I love it. I'm gonna watch as much as I can.
Robert, NBA on 7 days a week after football season, but some of these ways to watch, not everybody has them, including our good friend Robert. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I'm not paying to watch NBA games outside of subscriptions that I already pay for. We pay for Hulu, we pay for Netflix. That's what we pay for. I'm not going to get Amazon Prime just so I can watch Thursday Night Football and watch the NBA. I mean, I'm not doing that. And there are people who will, and that's cool if you want to do that. I think the thing that I'm most excited about with all of this, all of these media rights finally being settled, is that Adam Silver talked about is we got to get a new CBA, then we got to get our media deal. Now we can start talking about expansion, which makes a lot of sense in this day and age. And probably Vegas, bring back the Sonics, baby. Bring back the Seattle Supersonics. Write it down, right? And then, you're going to have a Vegas team. I don't know what you call the Vegas Blackjack. I don't know what you call them. But anyway,
That'll
Um,
be racist to the liberals. They were like, "That's racist."
Okay. I'm going to jump right to Mike so I don't get in any trouble. Mike, you're our regular cat, 7 days a week, multiple streaming platforms, over air. What are you thinking, sir?
You're muted.
You're on mute, Mike.
Gives the league the opportunity. Let's be honest. It just means we'll be watching Bronny James 7 days a week, but gives the league the opportunity to show the really good teams. Like the Thunder in Minnesota weren't on TV enough, and everyone knew they were good. But what do we watch? We watch the same teams on the same two networks. So it gives an opportunity for more. I look at it selfishly from Thunder fan perspective of they just had the potential for a dynasty and let everyone go because of money. And now this year, they're giving the Knicks backup center $30 million a year, and they're not even signing the start. They're signing the bench, the role players, like the Wiggins type of guys, and Joe, to big money because they know they're going to still sign their guys. So it's good for everybody. It means that teams that do things the right way are going to be able to still build a team and pay their stars and make money. I think it's great.
Yeah. The salaries that are coming up
It's going to be
will be
insane.
astronomical. And yeah, it's it's a lot of money coming in. But with that, in segment 2, speaking of money, we've got an NBA player giving out hometown discounts. Can't wait to hear the panel's thoughts on the hometown discount. Be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. And in segment 2, given the hometown discount. Fans, this is unprecedented in this day and age. I grew up in an era where teams did get the hometown discount and they talked about the loyalty and the this, that, and the other. And then we've got the get the bag generation, which we're never mad at. But all NBA guard Jalen Brunson, understanding the cap and the situations coming in addition, having his agent being a part of the Knicks family, has taken a significant discount to maintain financial flexibility for the New York Knicks. And that financial flexibility is a $37 million loss that comes with taking the check that he has taken. Mike, what are your thoughts on the hometown discount that Jalen Brunson just did?
It's pissing me off because this is the one New York team I don't root for. And the teams I root for, there's never a discount. Daniel Jones gets $40 million. We're about to pay our goalie Igor for the Rangers. He's going to want 12, which in the NBA would make him the last man on the bench. But in hockey, that's all the money. It's everything. You can't do anything after you give someone 12, and that's what he wants. We don't get hometown discounts. Good for him and good for the team. The one thing I'd say for the NBA, the discount, really, you're just helping the owner because they can pay more if they want, right? It's not a hard cap. So you're taking a discount to help the team, but you're just helping the billionaire that could easily still pay the other guys and give you your 100 million. So it's different. Hard cap sport, it makes more sense to say, okay, I'll help the team out. You're just helping the owner out.
Well, and this new NBA with the multi-tiers, that is an issue. Robert, again, as our administrator, you've got a guy who has willingly accepted less to benefit the greater good. This is going to endear him legacy-wise to the New York Knicks fans, similar to a Tom Brady move, et cetera, et cetera. But what are your thoughts when you saw he left how much on the team?
Well, let's get this. Let's look at it from this perspective, okay? We talk all the time about guys got to get their bag of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he left a ton of money on the table. But he signed for 4 years and $156 million. Okay, almost $40 million a year. He's not hurting. That's that in and of itself is a bag of money. I mean, he's not leaving. His kids are taken care of. His kids will probably be taken care of, assuming he takes steps to, not do dumb things with his money. So he's fine. What he's done is he's decided that he wants to, A, stay in New York because he likes it there. And B, he wants to make sure that he's going to play on teams that will compete for championships. And that's what he's allowed the franchise to do. Now, can the owners pay luxury taxes and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, I guess they can. But I don't know the NBA salary cap that well. I don't know how that works. But I do know that gives the Knicks the opportunity to bring guys in that they would not otherwise be able to bring in had he not done that.
Will, you played on a team with guys who had to sacrifice minutes. And again, as a high school player, you're not getting paid. But now as a NBA player, he's playing with his teammates from college. He's making sure everybody can eat. It's one of the things we talk about in terms of everybody can eat. What do you think about that move? Is this a heroic move, or is it like Robert? He's going to get a chance at another bite at the apple, and maybe he can get his money on the back end. What are you thinking?
I think he changed the culture. I think you have the best star, the guy who get paid all the money. I think he looks and says, hey, I got my number. I've already got my number. I'm sure he's talked to his camp before they even said he was going to accept that. And everybody was like, cool, and that shows the leadership. I mean, guys will know that is the leader, man. And that's what the Knicks have been missing for the last 20 years or so, coach and player. But now they have a coach who's a leader. They have a player who's a leader who goes to battle with him. This dude, he's the man. He's the guy that Knicks needed, and he took a discount to hire so they can grab more talent. I mean, how did the Knicks get so lucky? And how did Dallas let him go? I mean, this kid is that you build him, Luka, and you're like, hey, you guys can get enough money. You can go get whatever you want. I'm cool with this. Dallas should be the team that reaps all of that. But, man, Jalen Brunson, man, the guy deserves it. Professional. I like the guy, man. And for him to make this kind of decision just shows the kind of like character he has and the leadership he has. And like Robert says, I mean, at some point, like, you're just getting numbers. Like, he has a bag. Crazy. It's like 113. And who's to say he won't get it back, in some kind of way that they're going to make it like, So I think it's great, man. Also, but the biggest thing for me is this. Nobody's scared of the Boston Celtics. So everybody is loading up. Everybody. Philly got PG. Jalen Brunson got, I forgot the brother from Bridges. Is it Bridges? No. Yeah. Is it Bridges? Yeah, got Bridges. So everybody's loading up. Nobody's like, man, Boston got another one. They're not going to get it this year. Everybody, even Cleveland, who re-signed
Spider Mitchell.
Yep. Yeah, everybody knows that he has a chance to beat this team at the East. Nobody's scared of Boston. Boston's even looking a little shaky. So it's just another thing that they can say, okay, we're out, we're going to win. We're going to win. No one's scared of Boston, and we're going to win. So I love it, and I love Jalen Brunson. Dude's a baller, man. I love that guy.
Bonus question before we get to summer league for my Union guy, Mike King. If you're the head of the Union, do you call Jalen Brunson and say, "What are you doing?" or how are you handling this from the Union standpoint? Because it's well documented that the NBA Union is not the strongest. Because nobody in baseball would be taking no discounts. Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, nothing you can do at this point, but if I'm the union president talking to the players, I'm saying you're helping the billionaire owner. You're taking less. Yes, you still have generational money for your kids and kids. But the owners got that money for 10 more generations than you do. So who we have? It's not a complete hard cap. There's nuance to it. They could find ways to spend $100 million. If you want to take less years and whatever to get the big money, now that we know they're going to be making $80 million a year, $90 million, whatever soon, sure, that's a business decision. But when you're taking less money, you're helping the guy with the net worth of $2 billion who owns a $6 billion franchise, and he also owns the Rangers, who are worth I don't know how much, maybe $1 billion. So who's really helping? The owner's like, yeah, thanks for helping the team. I could have paid that easily with the stuff in the couch, but no, you do it. You do it. And look at that sphere that I built with that money of yours.
Okay. All right. As we close this segment, it's well documented that I hate the offseason. And Summer League has always scared me. And I had one of my former players here, and I tended to minimize minutes of my better players or what have you. You have to play basketball. You have to do football. You got to do these things. But the Denver Nuggets just lost one of their top draft picks to an Achilles injury. You got the over analysis of the 55th draft pick. Robert, any thoughts or any early thoughts on NBA Summer League? Or again, is Coach Adams just the scared guy?
Well, it's unfortunate that kid from the Nuggets got hurt and he loses the year and the Nuggets lose him. You can't say that wouldn't happen, him working out in the gym. I mean, guys get hurt, and you can't have guys afraid to get hurt, because when you play trying to avoid getting hurt, guess what happens? You get hurt. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's one of those things. Summer League, I mean, again, these guys typically don't play a lot of Summer League anyway. I think that probably, and I have not watched any Summer League games, so I don't know this, but my guess is, you may have these guys who were picked in the first and second rounds this year actually playing a little bit more, given the overall questions about the draft. But I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's what happens, I guess.
Yeah, we'll finish off this segment again. You have inside knowledge to my disdain for any off-season stuff. What did you think about Summer League coming into it?
Oh, man. It's rough. I mean, obviously, as a GM who hires a Summer League coach, you talk to him and you say, hey, I need you to develop some guys, but look, hey, we don't need any heroes. I don't need the draft. I don't need any heroes, and unfortunately he got hurt. It's just like Robert said, it's just part of the game. The best thing that they have to do is the best thing they know, it happened in the summer. They can manage it and figure out what's going to move forward. They don't have to, figure it out during the season. They know what's going to happen. But I don't think it should change anything in Summer League or anything like that. You want guys to play hard. You don't want guys to play scared. You don't want guys to, run through a wall. You don't have to ask them. So it's unfortunate, but, I still love Summer League. It's still good.
And next year, 2025, we're going to try to get this OCP handle retreat Watch Cooper Flag and the gang there. All right. So in segment 3, WNBA news and notes, and Mike King has a soliloquy about streaks. Let's just say it that way. We'll be right back on the Yacht Coaches Podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete, academic, and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Yacht Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, WNBA Power Rankings. 1, New York Liberty. 2, Connecticut Sun. 3, Minnesota. 4, Vegas, who's playing well. 5, Seattle. 6, Phoenix. Got some injuries. 7, Chicago. They are safely in the playoffs right now. 8, Indiana. They're safely in the playoffs right now. I'm sure the league is excited about that. 9, Atlanta. 10, Washington. 11, Los Angeles, and 12, Dallas. I actually saw Los Angeles and Dallas battle it out for the best of the worst. Who's hot? New York is hot. Vegas is hot, and who's not? LA and Dallas. They're not hot. But the story of the week, the rookies are staying in the news. Angel Reese was on a double-double tear. Caitlin Clark is figuring it out. Mike, any thoughts on Angel Reese no longer having that extended double-double streak? What are you thinking?
Game before, they're up by like 8, games over. You dribble out the, you dribble out the clock. It's what you do. She wanted to get fouled. She wanted to keep the streak going. She was going to do the same thing in this game, down like 100. And New York sent 4 girls and said no. And I kind of like that because I like a streak that's like legitimate. And it was legitimate until the last 2 games when it became a clown show. Like that, it's a joke. The NBA takes away triple doubles when you miss things on purpose to like pad your stats at the end of the game. They did it to Giannis. They did it to Bob Sura. They did it to there's another. The NBA is like, no. That's, what are you doing? And that's how I felt watching like what are you doing? You're up by 8. The other team gave up, and you're in the post. Give me the ball. Come on.
Okay.
All
right. Robert, Caitlin Clark continues to be in the news. Her growth and development is quite obvious. Teammates are catching the ball a little more, so her turnovers are going down a bit. What do you think about Caitlin still staying in the news, this time for her on-court play?
Well, and just to kind of follow up with what Mike was talking about, I think those streaks, they should be organic, right? They should just happen. You shouldn't have to manipulate things to try to make them happen. Caitlin Clark, and we've talked about Caitlin Clark figuring it out. Now her teammates are starting to figure it out. They're like, oh, maybe we better have our hands up. Oh, maybe we better expect that the ball might come to us. The other thing, yeah, I mean, but the other thing about that with the Fever is if you look at their box scores, I mean, they're really only playing 5 at this point. I mean, they're 8 people will get on the floor. Only one of those, one of the 3 coming off the bench sees any extended time at all.
And she misses 5 shots. She goes 0 for 5.
They're basically playing with 5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they've got a good foundation. They've figured it out. She has become more comfortable as the season has gone along. I think that probably I don't know as the spotlight necessarily has lessened or if she's gotten more used to it, but it just seems like she's more comfortable, right? Like just things are more comfortable. Things are easier. Here's something that's interesting for y'all to think about. So Diana Taurasi has been banged up, and Caitlin Clark is one of the alternates for the Olympic team. Given how she's been playing lately, maybe maybe USA Basketball needs to think about that.
She's one of the, I mean, at the beginning of the year, we talked about this. She wasn't playing well the first 3 games when Taurasi said, oh, she's not gonna be able to figure out this is the league. It's after 3 games, you look at her stats and it's like, no, she's better than most of you. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, you're right.
she's averaging double with 13 assists, 4 games in a row, something like that. That doesn't happen in the league. You look at the entirety of the league, it doesn't happen. And you watch her play, it's just fun. She goes behind the back, through the legs, behind the back passes. It's a little Jason Williams. It's a little Steph Curry. Again, not nearly as good as, but she's doing things that no one else does. It's just fun. It's fun to watch. It's nice to see Mitchell playing really well. Boston's playing really well. Like you said, the bench is so bad. If they could just get as many draft picks as possible so they have bodies, it's gonna be a fun team to watch, but she has to be in there. I mean, she's leading the league in turnovers, so I looked up the NBA. Do you know who leads the league in turnovers? The really good players, because they're actually doing things. Harden,
Dwayne Wade was always in the
Wade
top
and
like
Harden
5
lead the
turnovers.
league in turnovers.
Yeah, every year,
Because they're
every
the
year.
ones thinking the game, making the hard passes like that. So turnovers, I get it. Like, but there's a reason. It's because she's doing things that no one else is trying to do, and that's a good thing.
And as her teammates have figured things out, her turnovers have gone down
Yeah.
because they're starting to catch the ball and they're starting to understand, oh, if I get to this spot, I will get the ball with an open shot.
And even with the padding the stat thing with the last 2 games for Reese, she should be in the Olympics. Like, both of them should be in. They're both in the top 12. They're good. They're both really, really good. They both should be there, not just for what they bring to getting eyes on the games, but because they deserve it. And as the weeks go on, all the people who said, neither of them are good enough, they are all looking a little bit sillier every single week because they keep doing it. It's not like against the bad teams. They do it against the good teams. They keep doing it. They're both good.
So, Will, you have a unique perspective. You've been in the locker room with some very, very powerful personalities. Taking it in any way you want to, the Angel Reese double streak or Caitlin Clark's growth and development. What are you thinking about that story of the week? Because they're still in the news. What say you?
I agree with, I think Mike said it. It's like, the WNBA was trying to act like this big, scary big dog, like, oh, wait till she gets to the league, and oh, it's a real league. And we kind of even bought into that. We were like, oh, well, she ain't gonna be doing that stuff. And she was kind of like okay for like a month, and after that, she was fine. She was fine, and it's talked to her professionalism, how well she adjusted, because if you watch like her first month, it was a lot of like deep threes, and people were pushing them and knocking her down, and like now you're seeing like, okay, well, they'll shove her and she won't move, or she'll move the pass or do something different. She has diversified her shots. She's not longer like shooting long threes. She'll come in floater, she'll Gutman dish, pocket pass. It's been really interesting her growth, man. It's been great. Angel Reese is the same thing. She's just getting more comfortable, but with her it's probably easier because she's like, look, I'm 6'3" and I'm big as hell. So it's just like it's everywhere I go, there's so much untapped skill set with her offensive game. It just looks ugly. It reminds me she reminds me of like Joakim Noah, where she just had this like motor and guys just didn't want to run with her, and she was tough as hell. And all she were a couple shots that she need, and she was getting like 20 and 10 or 17 and 13 and things like that. So if she can stay healthy and just come up with like one shot, maybe a hook shot or a float shot or like it's grazing. And Cardoza, one of her teammates, man, I saw her caught a pass and threw it over her head. Couldn't even see it to Angel Reese for a bucket. I mean, these women are just taking WA by storm, and they're ready to go. And I'm loving it, man. But they're doing and the biggest thing is just stay healthy, relax for the Olympics, because you're gonna have a long lull. Soon as you get back, pick it up again, keep going. So this is what they need. But yeah, I'm loving it, man. I love it so far. It keeps me watching. It's
Yeah. All right. So next week we will do our full Olympic preview. We will tell you some players and some teams and countries to watch. Looking forward to it on both the men's and the women's side. We'll also have another recap, a little more in detail of the Summer League. And we'll even talk about the NBA Cup, which now has a sponsor, but we can wait on that. So on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, stop it, Robert. I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the iCoaches podcast, and we will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care, and I'm going to make you care about one of these things one day.
The iCoaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The iCoaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the iCoaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the iCoaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at oddcoaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the iCoaches podcast.